All right, I'm just gonna kick this off. This is a join the hunt, and I'm gonna tell you what, I'm stunned. I told you what happened. I mean, I got fresh dirt, heavy rain last night. I went back out and I said, it's gonna start to turn over. Look at this. Take a look at this. We're gonna take a look through this pile. I mean, look at this. Will you? It's a join the find with Indian Trace. And I found a couple more. They're sitting on the ground almost a double right here next to me that are out in the dirt. And we're talking about good quality dirt. Look at this piece of rhyolite. Can you see it? Good quality dirt. I've got points around. Look at this stuff that I found right here. We're gonna do this first. Then we're gonna get up and check something out. Look at this big blade. Thanks for tuning in to Indian Trace. There's a couple on the ground, and as you can see, all these, they just weren't convenient, or the wind was blowing like about 20, 30, 40 miles per hour. It's crazy. So I couldn't film them, but you can see there's some crazy stuff here. Mercy. I mean, I was just picking it up and going forward. You just take a look at that pile, will you? Craziness. First of all, I guess I'll just show you this thing. This, well, that right there is the only thing I didn't find today. That's my index point. You got to bring that, don't you? Got to bring that. So, but look at this big blade. Now we got some stuff we're going to see. This is crazy. I'm going to really show you, give you a show. Look at this big blade. I'm in the little teeny spot right here. And I didn't find it all right here. I found it up at the Vulture in the Falcon. Look at this scraper. I could tell that this was just a good piece, good tool. Sometimes you can tell by the energy, by the sheen, by how it's worked. It's not just a flake off. I can tell they were working it. That's always great. And then this is crazy. This, of course, is a piece of pottery. I haven't washed it at all. This is a late archaic, early, if any, woodland. Might not be woodland at all. There is no fiber texture, which is here on this site. Nothing. And it is super thick. Wait till I clean that off, though. I don't know if a good exposure's coming in to show you that. That's a big piece of pottery. Sure as you live, it's a piece of pottery, though. I couldn't get around it. Then, nice stuff with a scraper there. Gotta love it. Anyway, check this out. We're gonna walk a little bit. We're gonna check some things out. I've spotted something over here. I knew it was broken. But here at Sun Hill, there's a find right there. We got that pile over there still too. I don't know how I'm gonna get to it all. Look at that. That's what we're talking about. We still have some stuff in the ground. I still have at least a 30-yard swath to check, and that's quite a bit for a really hot spot. Conditions are really great. You can see that piece. Why not, right? Peaceful out here today. Just get out here and take a flat out, strong pushing lunch. Now look at this. Okay? I'm just gonna go through these and I'm not gonna take too long. Found all these today. Just some great materials. That's a piece of smoky quartz. It's translucent, no doubt. That's a nice point, just missing a little bit of the tip. Great finds out here, right? Look at this. Marl Mountain. Just moving along. This is a heartbreaker. Would have loved to have that. Anyway, what an incredible time to be alive. You're looking at artifacts, surefire North American Indian, ancient Indian artifacts. I don't know if this is an early woodland site or a late archaic site. Well, it could have gone mid-archaic through early woodland, you never know. But I can promise you this, This is an ancient Indian site. Now here's the pottery with a little bit of texture. Little bit of fiber texture. Completely different than the other one, right? Look at these great artifacts here. I mean, you just got to pick them up and keep moving, especially when you don't have all the convenient time in the world. Morrow Mountains, which date the site. Here's an awesome point. I haven't even really seen them all myself, so I'm just trying to get them on so we can move forward. Look at this point, will you? Don't know if my focus is coming in. If I get too, oh my, I forgot about that piece. Not this one in my hands. I mean, that's a great basic field point right there. All artifacts. Look at this triangle, just missed it. I don't even know what I found until I look at them. I'm getting shocked right here. I'm still point drunk. Eastern North Carolina, coastal Piedmont. You're in a ancient Indian site with me in an ultra-modern time, the year 2017. Look at this piece. Maybe it was a piece of a pendant or a gorget. I've never found anything like it. Take a look at that. Hole drilled in it. There was probably two. Could have been a full round gorget that they cut those pieces in the side there. That's a piece of rhyolite, I think, that's been smoothed down. Just crazy to me. Right? Never found anything like it. You got to pick that up. My gracious, are you kidding? I just never imagined when I started collecting stuff that I'd be able to come across things like this. And I do take a little extra time just to show you all here. I mean, look at this. That's better than any peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I always say that. Great artifacts. And I've got one more in the ground, but we're going to take a walk down here. I bet we find something. I bet we find something as we go along. Anyway. Working on my focus. I've got things marked. Oh, what could I share if I get my mind sorted out here? That was a lot of artifacts. A lot of artifacts. I can't even comment about them. I haven't even cleaned them up. When it's blowing wind and you're trying to get through somewhere and you know you don't have the time and the conditions are really great, you just got to do it. Prioritize. I mean, my number one priority, I'm looking at things as we go, pieces of quartz and what have you. My number one priority is to make sure I honestly look at whatever place I've gone to hunt it out, to read the rocks and give a good honest hunt of the site. No matter what kind of time I have, I just have to be honest with it. And then when I leave, I know that I've done my duty to look small. And if you look small, you'll miss small, which is to say, if you look small, you really won't miss much. You're going to miss some. Everybody does. It's the way the human mind works. Yeah, I did leave all those artifacts back there. It's a very small site. At least currently, it's a very private site. You never know when you get invaded or a four-wheeler ride up. You just don't ever know. It just doesn't happen to me, really. I'm not superstitious. I won't say knock on wood, what have you. But I want to give my thanks to so many people out there who have contributed with just some intelligent comments. Whether it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Whether it's comments that have to do with political interests or whatever it is. Comments that have to do with the artifacts or giving me insight, because I certainly don't know everything, and I am a novice. I've been collecting 5 years, but I've learned a lot in 5 years. I've got some veterans out there that tell me so. I can tell you this for sure. Look at that. I don't know how they got it here, because that's a big block of rhyolite. That's a big block of rhyolite. We won't get into the history of it. Anyway, I do appreciate every comment out there, and it's been amazing. Here's a funny perspective. Since I have made political comments on this Indian Trace channel, which was originated from the very, very first place as an expression of liberty, as an expression of freedom, as an expression of appreciation for the North American Indian, who they were, what they were, where they lived, what they made, the only trace of life that we can find that speaks of who they were. That's what the channel was all about. And of course, that cannot disclude anything that's happening in a modern realm. Work stone all over. And flakes. So, that means that the comments that then bubble forth, especially I knew that I was neglecting things. I was neglecting understandings, and I was neglecting my ability to share and to inspire and to encourage people to be engaged politically. Now, I will put this out there for anybody who's watching. It doesn't matter to me what your political persuasion is. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. All I want you to do is be engaged in thinking about the very best things for your family, the very best things for this nation as a constitutional republic. Now, at the same time, if you are a communist, if you are somebody that actually believes socialism works, which it's never once ever worked in any nation state in the world, never. It's always failed, and it's failing tremendously. In Europe, it's failing tremendously in so many places. The Soviet Union have overcome it. Russia, that is, has overcome it. And I meant to say the Soviet Union does not exist anymore. People, I don't know why they're so mixed up. Russia is a nationalistic country. People love Mother Russia. They love the nation of Russia. It is their land. It is their home. They are pretty much Orthodox Christians. And Americans, with the sheltered information they get, are so mixed up about how much Russia has contributed to the liberty of our own nation. And not through hate, not through murder, not through taking advantage of people, but through joining us in serious efforts that we've had. The American Revolution won. How about the Civil War? People don't realize how engaged and how necessary it is to try to coexist. Just looking around at flakes when we go. I don't want to miss anything. So I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I really do want to say, because I had a couple people shout out and say, why don't you cool it on the politics? That's funny to me. Because, look at this, a hole right through the woods. Cool it on the politics. That's funny. And I said it lightly. I mean, they could have been ruder, but it doesn't bother me one bit. I was a teacher, I'm a firefighter, and I'm a warrior, so it doesn't matter to me what you say. I just will confront you with intelligence and a good thought. And if you have a better idea and you have a better thought about the United States of America, or about the best way for a human being to live, which I believe is freedom, which I believe anything that supports liberty, which I believe is the Bill of Rights, which I believe is the Constitution of the United States of America. Look at that. There's a lot of pieces of pottery here that I do not pick up. So when finding artifacts and realizing the necessity of being engaged politically, else you wouldn't be out finding artifacts. You wouldn't be able to do anything that you like to do, probably. You would do what you're told to do. You would work the job that you're told to work. You would be the athlete that the government tells you you need to be. You'd eat the food that they tell you you have to eat. You'd drive the car that they tell you you should drive. I mean, come on. And so I celebrate liberty here on Indian Trace, because the Indians did, and they had rather died than not have freedom, and that's exactly what happened. And it was a sad story from the beginning. But the funniest thing is in the world is that since I have started sharing, and this is Sun Hill, this is a really great place. I'm looking around, the conditions are great. What's this? You never know. You never know. I'm going to just dip down here. We won't take a whole lot more time on this video today, but I had to make it because you saw how many. Oh, God. I mean, I'm seeing stuff. With every turn of my head, I'm seeing stuff. So I'll put to bed that thought as we take a look and just dip over here and check this piece out. Never know. Never know. Funny thing is in that... That's an artifact. I mean, sure as you live, they made it like that. They reduced it off the back. Cortex right there. My word. It's a good looking piece though. Good looking piece though. Doesn't bother me at all. Flaked right off the back. It's flaked down the sides here. I can see that. It's an artifact at Sun Hill. Got to keep that. So what was I thinking? I don't want to lose my train of thought. You guys, this is awesome. I'm going to show you a piece that I already had sticking up that looks great if it's full. So we got another live find coming, I promise you, but this is a hot site and I just can't slow up here. I'm keeping an eye on my time so I don't exhaust you all. Oh yeah, that's what it was. That individual, and they probably won't hear this because at least they said that they're done watching the channel. See, I think that's funny because I never even put Indian Trace up to begin with to merit. Look at this view. To find a way to get you to watch. I didn't put Indian Trace up to find a way to get subscribers. Nope, didn't do it. So it doesn't matter to me one bit in the world. Look at this piece of pottery. It's a fairly big one. Can you see the texture on this? That's textured pottery. Right out of a hole like that. I'm wondering if I can get the texture on there to show you. Yeah, I think you can see it. The other side, convex, got to keep that. That's a pretty big piece. All right, I know I'm feeling like I'm distracted. I'm keeping an eye on where my pile is over there as we move along here and keeping an eye on my time. We're done with time. So, there could be some other great finds here, so I'm gonna try to do this. Thank you for joining the hunt. Here's the funny part that you can join with me, and this is really for a lot of my friends out there. No worries. Look at, there's another piece of work rock. It's all over the place here at Sun Hill. Great conditions. Just had to give it my best. That's an artifact for sure. That one stays. I have a prioritizing system. Anyway, they says, you know, I'm done. I'm not going to listen to Indian Trace anymore because you talk about politics. You talk about your point of view. Listen, what's yours? Share it. What's your better idea? What's your belief? And how a system that supports my family, that supports your family, that supports humanity's freedom. What is the idea that works better than some of the ones I share, you know? What the funny thing is, and I've been trying to say this for 5 minutes, is that my subscribers, and I've never tried to have this happen, have exploded since I've shared a little bit of my heart about what I believe for the nation and politics, since a little bit before November 8th, since a little bit before the general election for our president, Donald Trump. It's unbelievable. You know, it's funny because we're going to get ready to circle around and got to get back up there. I'm checking my time. Good night. That's a big piece of pottery. Gee, man, see what I'm talking about? Look at this. What a day. Look at this thing. Shoot. You guys are getting treated today. Because that's a treat right there to me. I don't find, it's been pretty powerful. Look at that. Look at that. Rob and Terry, I'm going to give you a remembrance. Look at this piece, will you? Look at the texture on that thing. Here's your remembrance. This is Sun Hill. Got to keep that. Don't want to take too long. This is Sun Hill. So what that means, Rob and Terry, Georgia, Rob and Terry, is that right there at the end of my pointer, Rob, you and I missed a smoking quartz notch point. Terry spotted it out and scooped it up. And she was blessed. You guys were blessed that day. That was a good point. That's where I am right now. And putting out this pottery and stuff. You guys both know. Doesn't matter to me. Generosity is the way of the North American Indian. If you're here, I just go ahead and look at this, man. More pottery. God night. I'm trying to get over to a piece in the ground in my time. Whew. Mercy. I might find another smoker today. You just don't ever know. This is just nuts. I'm understanding more and more about a site every single time I collect it. I think everybody out there should hear that. Every time you're on a site, it should be your duty. That's a sweet piece of pottery. I've got to leave it there. I'm trying to do a little bit of a circle here in a way that I haven't done it before to get back over to wherever my group is. Sorry. Anyway, look at this. I mean, I got a handful of artifacts. I don't know if the focus is coming in. Is it? Don't know. Taking a chance. Well, my time, man. There's another piece in the ground up here that I've got where my bag is. And if I take a step or anyway, I'm sorry. Your brain would be spinning too if you were finding artifacts like this. I promise you that. I could bring anybody out. Mercy, what the world is that? It's a chunk of rock. You're out here reading rocks. So, all in all, got a couple sour apples who decided that just because they disagree or they have a different idea, which I'd love to hear, if it supports freedom better than the ones that I thought about, or better than the principles that our president Trump has put out. My goodness, everybody'd want to hear it. That's what it's about. It's about winning in the arena of ideas. That's how America was made. Okay, we're going to cut straight across to this point and we'll finish it up. That's all there is to it. So things are exploding. There's a great amount of people that are tuning into Indian Trace, and I absolutely love it. It's a blessing to me. I don't know how I'm going to carry all this stuff back. I'm going to run with it. And I want to show you another point that was in the ground. Granted, when I put all this stuff down, sorry, look at this. I mean, remember this. Joining the hunt with Indian Trace. I told you this stuff was going to happen, as well as live finds. Pottery, points, gorgets. I mean, this is going to be shocking for a lot of people today. It's shocking to me. Scrapers, nuts. That's what it is, nuts. It's all nuts. Look at that. All started with me coming out. I was just going to honor the place and put my index point out there. But we have more than that before we're finished, and it's not over until it's over. Not over until you leave the dirt. Look at this. Anybody bored yet? Mercy. What do you suppose, huh? What do you suppose? Oh, it's a Marl Mountain. It's a sugar quartz Marl Mountain. Would you look at that? Holy smoke. A smoker for the last bit. I keep you here. We find some more stuff. Look at that. Look at that. I knew it would happen on Join the Hunt with Indian Trace. And it's longer, but there's a boatload of artifacts on this. I'm trying to clean it off right in front of you. Hang on a second. Give you a good view while I do this. I mean, shoo-wee. Could be that piece, could be the gorget. I don't know. I don't know. My brain is spinning right now. You get on overload. I mean, look at those two pieces. Then you have a piece like this. It's not cleaned up yet. On the other side, it is a chocolate type of sugar quartz Marl Mountain at Sun Hill. I'm going to tell you what. That's blessed. Well, that's enough. I told you I really wanted you to join the hunt on Indian Trace, and that does it, right? Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace, and that right there, that's all Indian Trace. Good as it gets, right? Hope you find out there.